What is up, gang? So I wanted to talk a little bit about how I cook today, as in my approach to recipes and such. So as you can see by the title, I don't always use recipes, at least not to the T. So I think recipes are great, and I actually started out my cooking by just sort of following recipes exactly, and that was great. But it sort of became a bit stale for me. I found the only thing that stood between me and making a higher quality meal, say, was the amount of time and care I was willing to put in to follow the instructions provided. And as my skills improved, I sort of thought, well, maybe I can come up with some of these things. Now, I'm not that much of a great chef, at least not yet, to the point where I can completely come up with my own recipes. So I sort of have to settle for a middle ground. So what I like to do is I'll find something I like, a recipe. Typically, I'm guilty of finding an Instagram reel I like. And what I'll do is I'll look at it, I'll watch what they do, maybe have a brief read of their recipe or whatever, and then I'll go off and make it on my own. And I think it's a lot more fun for me doing it this way. I think it's helped me progress more as a chef. I think it's made cooking more fun and exciting, and it's put an element of difficulty in it and layered a new skill element to it. And I think one major reason I'd recommend this to other people, but I mean, I don't really, cook how you want, but why I recommend it is oftentimes, when people cook, they're presenting their world to you. I mean, that kind of sounds like a meaningless phrase, but what I mean is, for instance, today, maybe I don't want to spend $4 on vinegar that I don't own because I'm not really going to taste it. Or, maybe in America, this product's really cheap, but for me, it isn't, so I'm not going to bother. Or, hey, maybe I really like this other vegetable instead of this one, and I think it could be a good substitute. It allows you to personalize the meal, and not just in terms of a, creative way, but also a practical way, which, they sort of blend together. So I think making substitutions or foregoing things or adding things in is a great way to eat food that you enjoy eating, and also just test yourself, see, I wonder if this works. With my first video, the chicken fajita tray bake, the Instagram reel or whatever that I hunted down to find the recipe, it didn't have any jalapenos, but I was like, it's basically a capsicum was my train of thought. And then I was like, why not put it in there? And I mean, oh boy, was it spicy, but that's not the point. The point was, it's cool that I was just able to change the recipe as I please, rather simply as well. And I think one other benefit of this that I've noticed in myself is that it's taken the mystery out of cooking. I notice a lot of people, especially younger people, see cooking very much as this thing designed by other people for you, a recipe to be followed, not sort of created on your own. And, if you're never really questioning things like the role of salt in a dish or why am I even adding this in the first place, you kind of just get into a very structured mode of cooking. And I think when you take that out and think, what do I really want? And think about what every component's going to add to the dish. For instance, if I'm like, I don't really want garlic in this component of the dish. I mean, garlic's pretty good, so bad example maybe, but and I mean, either I'm right, and then I learn that, hey, my intuition was right, that this garlic did nothing. Or B, I realized that, this is kind of tasteless now. And then I realized how important garlic is. So I think when you sort of don't follow the recipe to a T, you can kind of understand cooking more. And even though I'm not at the stage where I can create good meals on my own, I think if I was to not have access to a recipe book or the internet ever again, I think I'd do okay. I could make some basic dishes, and not just from memory. I think I could come up with some decent flavor combinations. And I think that's cool that I've been able to turn cooking, because cooking, at least at, the home cook, just for everyday meals level, cooking is really not that hard. But I think if you follow recipes, you don't really get to see that. You just see it as this formula that has to be followed exactly. So yeah, that's, basically my take on it, and a fun little challenge it's not even a challenge really, but how I like to live my life, if you will, if that doesn't sound too serious. But yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys. I'm really happy with how the channel's started out. I appreciate the comments you guys have left. And yeah, coming back to what I'm cooking today, I actually had to look up a recipe for this one, and it's a meal I wouldn't normally make with a few more components going on, so I did actually follow a recipe fairly closely. I tried to not look at it once I started cooking, and for the most part I succeeded. But yeah, it's a chicken burrito bowl. A little bit more involved in terms of effort. In terms of time, it wasn't much longer. It's just that you've got a lot of components going on and a bit more of a mess. So I would recommend it. I think it was a big taste step up from what I'm usually used to making. I think Mexican cuisine is probably one of the best for a home cook level chef such as myself to make, because I think it's pretty easy to execute quality tastes. Like, it's hard to stuff up is what I'm trying to say. And there's just so many good flavors that gel well together generally in Mexican. Anyway, I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm talking about all that much, but it wasn't that hard to follow. Quite cheap too, and really very tasty. So yeah, give it a go if you guys want. I'll chuck the recipe loosely, of course, the recipe I followed in the description. Yeah. And that's about it from me, guys. If you made it this far, you probably like me somewhat, so I'm just going to use the last minute or couple of minutes to just yap, and hopefully that's what you're after. I think going forward I'm going to try, I didn't really write down anything for this, and I like that. I like that for me, and I also think the video comes out better. I kind of just want this as a space for me to kind of just chat and hang out almost. That kind of sounds cringe, but anyway. So yeah, life updates is today was the first day of the bulk, with an asterisk. I'm going back to maintenance calories, and then I'm going to be starting to put on about 0.2, 0.3 kilos a week ideally. So it's pretty exciting. So that's probably why you can see I've got a lot of rice here. I'm doubling my rice intake from half a cup to a full cup per meal, along with some other changes I might go through in a later video, I might not. But eating more, feeling good. We've got training tomorrow morning, so I'm hoping to push some heavier weight up, and then that's pretty much it from me, guys. I'll see you next time, I suppose. Peace.